Hello and welcome to our From Bronze to Wherever We End Up at the End of the Month series. We have reached Platinum, which for me as a non-ranked player is a rare occurrence. But we are here. I suspect that things are gonna slow down from here on because we need a better than 50% win percentage in order to progress at all, but our competition is also very strong from this point on. I feel like it's also late in the format, or late-ish in the format, so that everybody should be knowing what's going on. So we'll see if this holds true. We can, like a bad run can undo a lot of progress for us. But we start at the lowliest low of Platinum, so nothing can happen for us while we're here. So let's enjoy this first draft. Secrets of Strixhaven in Platinum. Alright, and we start with a banger. There's an Emeritus of Ideation. With it in the pack, I have to say, the Emeritus has not been great for me, but usually I pick it up relatively late. And sometimes it doesn't 100% fit into the deck. It's an incredible card, so let's see if we get it, when we get it first, if we can actually use it to its fullest potential. I think it has drawn me like cards once in paper and online, and it was, I think, once where it did not matter. Maybe I'm misremembering things, but like I said, this card is incredible. In there is a Snarl Song, a Royal Treatment, but an Unsubtle Mockery. But we're gonna take this Emeritus, and let's see if the Emeritus can carry us to victory. He might not, because we might not be playing him at all. There's a Conciliator's Duelist, there's a Scolding Administrator, Last Gasp. What did they take out of this pack? There might be a second rare in, there might have been a second rare in here. There's nothing that wants to go, well, it's not completely true. A Bulk Up, Thunderdrum Soloist. Maybe if you stretch it and are really a big fan of Rapturous Moment, then the Emeritus can also play with that. Even a Burrock Barrage can be good with the Emeritus, but if Silver Quill is open, then the Conciliator's Duelist is just an incredible card, and it seems like currently the person to our right, at least, does not want to be Silver Quill. So we're taking this. I think the other option would have been the Burrock Barrage, but we see how things develop from here. We have an Additive Evolution. There's a Quick Study here as well. Planar Engineering. There's nothing that wants us to go down the Conciliator Duelist route here. I think the Additive Evolution is quite good if we end up in Quandrix. I think that's a really good home for the Emeritus. Even though he looks more Prismari, but I think he's probably better in the Quandrix decks. Simply because you play more creatures in Quandrix, so the Emeritus is less exposed when it finally comes down. So the opponent might have already used up some removal. So I think I'm gonna take, it's the best card in here, I feel like, the Additive Evolution. And it pairs well with the Emeritus of Ideation. Yeah, I think it's not, it doesn't look like the Silver Quill route is open, at least from the card that we see here. But we have some good blue and green options. Disdainful Stroke is really good. Thornfist Striker is quite good, but it's more of a Witherbloom. We have a Cuboid Colony. Flow State is good. Chase Inspiration is good. I think I'm gonna try and lock in the Cuboid Colony. We could take the Disdainful Stroke. I really like this card. But it's kind of hit and miss. If you run against the Silver Quill decks, then this might be too slow. Then it's not a 2-mana card. So let's have a little bit of a more aggressive start with the Cuboid Colony. Yeah, I think from how the packs currently look like, I don't think I want to be Silver Quill. So what did we... Buruk Barrage was, I think, probably the card that I would have picked in pack 2. So we lost out on a Buruk Barrage over the Conciliators Duelist. That's fine. I'm not a big fan of Tam. It's really slow. I think I'm just going to take the Dreamroot Cascade. It's okay, but I don't want to pick it up. Pick 5. There's an Elemental Mascot in here, which is interesting. We could still go Prismari, but maybe this might still end up in our deck if we decide to go Prismari. But I think it seems like the Quandrix route is open. We have a Quandrix Charm pick 6 here, and are quite happy to pick that up. What else do we see signal-wise? Lots of white cards, but not the greatest. I mean, Ajani's Response is a good card, but there's nothing that really pulls us into another direction. So Quandrix Charm, I think, even the best card in the pack, and is what we want to do anyways. Interesting. So we have a few options. So this is a very late Bogwater Lumaret. Mind Roots can be good. I like the textbook Tabulator. We could take a Visionary Stance and splash for it if we want to. There's also a Spectacle Summit that would allow us to keep us open for good red cards that we see. But I think the textbook Tabulator is an okay card by itself. So I think I'm gonna take that and where is it? Come back. Yeah, Witherbloom is certainly open. We see a Lumaret. We saw it pick 7 and pick 8. There's a Deluge Virtuosa, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Is there a chance that we splash into from Witherbloom and branch out? I don't think so. Let's take the Virtuoso, send somebody else in Witherbloom, and then reap the rewards, hopefully, in pack 2. We have a Royal Treatment, which I really like. There's a decent 2-drop in the Mindful Biomancer, and there's a Paradox Gardens. Having one of these surveillance is really good, but I think we have a really good playable in Royal Treatment. I am a little bit worried about the lack of 2-drops right now, so Mindful Biomancer could be an option, but I think Royal Treatment is just a better card. Okay. The Buruk Barrage came back, so that's really encouraging. The Old Growth Educator is also in here, so somebody here will have a really good with a Bloom deck. But for us, Buruk Barrage, that's a present. All right. Winding down here, we are looking for early spells, and that is exactly what we find here with the Mindful Biomancer. We could take a Fractal Mascot, but right now I don't think that our late game is the worry. So we are definitely going to take the Mindful Biomancer. And the Fractal Mascot you can usually pick up later if you want it. Rehearse Debater, sure. All of these picks do not matter. A Fluorescence at least is an option if we find ourselves low on playables. Pack 2, we find a Germination Practicum, and this is so good in Quandrix, usually. We have a Thornfist Striker here again, but outside of Witherbloom, this is really tricky to enable consistently. Glorious Decay is a good sideboard card in best of 3. Terramorphic Expanse is always a playable. And we are not unhappy to picking one up. At some point, Landscape Painter is fine. And we would like to play one, but the Germination Practicum for sure, that is a real gift. And now the plan seems clear. We want to play creatures and then play a Germination Practicum and then just run our opponent over. We have a Great Hall of the Biblioplex, which is a fine card in certain decks. We have an Arcane Omens, which, if you are doing the Converge thing, can be really good. Textbook Tabulator, but I don't think we need to do that right now. There's a Noxious Newt, which I think prefer right now over the Embrace the Paradox. We want to pick up some card draw at some point, for sure. So Embrace the Paradox is on our bucket list, but I think the Noxious Newt here is better. There's another Terramorphic Expanse here. Homesickness, also perfectly fine, playable, but I think the Noxious Newt here is exactly what this deck wants. We have a quick study here. Get another Dreamroot Cascade and another Terramorphic Expanse. So the question is now, do we want to play the quick study? Or do we just take another Dreamroot Cascade? I think at this point, with already having one of these, I'm feeling okay picking up a quick study here. You can definitely overload on these card draw spells, but here, sometimes these lands even wheel. So somebody has to decide between the Terramorphic Expanse and the Dreamroot Cascade. But I mean, the Shopkeeper's Bane is probably not what we want. We find a second Additive Evolution, which is really good. We find a Sundering Archaic, and we find Tam. I don't prioritize Tam at all. If it makes its way back to us, then fine. But if not, then not. Sundering Archaic, though, might be an interesting pickup for us, because we don't have a lot of interaction right now. And Sundering Archaic, at least in our deck, would at least exile a 2-drop. But I think I'm gonna stay the course with the Additive Evolution. Wow. So Witherbloom's really open, and Silverquill also does not seem to have a lot of fans around here. We see Moseo, Vayne's New Dean, but there's a Grapple with Death. And I think we are getting kind of to the point where we can't find any interaction in our colors. So maybe if we get the chance to splash something like a Grapple with Death, that would improve the utility of our cards. There's another Grapple with Death, but I don't want to overload it, especially not if there's a perfectly fine playable for us in the Brush Off. Brush Off is fine. I don't think I want to play with the Wild Hypothesis. Yeah, so it's going to be the Brush Off. I think what we're really looking for, especially with the Germination Practicum, would be an Emil. That gives creatures with +1/+1 counters trample. So that would be a nice pickup that we are on the lookout for. Yeah, things are slowing down for us. So from this side, it seems like Quandrix is not very open, or we didn't get any cards. We have a page that we can play on turn 2, which ramps us to Emeritus, Additive Evolution, and even benefits from the Germination Practicum. Or we have the Spellbook Seeker. I'm gonna take the Spellbook Seeker, but that might not be the correct pick. Oh, there was even, I think I should have taken, was it just in there, the green-black land? I think that might have been a better pick, because here I'm gonna take another black removal spell. I don't love it, I have to say. We have a Thornfist Striker in here. I'm gonna pick that up. We don't have anything right now that synergizes with it, but I'm gonna take it regardless, just to have some more creatures in here. Past Mascot still in here. Yeah, we get the Embrace the Paradox, but there's also a Terramorphic Expanse. But we saw more Terramorphic Expanse in the other. But we also already have a quick study, so I think I'm going to take the Terramorphic Expanse here to enable our Black Splash a little bit better. Now the the decisions have to be made a little bit quicker. Inkling Mascot, yeah, I'm not sure if we are in the perfect spot. Page came back, pull from the grave, sure. And a last pick Old Growth Educator, yeah, so maybe the Emeritus shoved us a little bit into a trap. But then we open this pack. There's a Pensive Professor, which I think is the best card in here. The Wisdom of Ages is really good, but it's usually only in these in the Prismari decks. I think we are not spell heavy enough for this to be what we want to pick. There's a Hydro Channeler which we could take, but I think the Pensive Professor just outperforms the rest. Still, we don't find any interaction, so I think I'm gonna take the second brush off here just to be able to interact and to prevent our opponent from doing things. The growth curve I think does not really fit into this deck. So two things that our deck currently does not do very well is like early drops and interaction. So I think the brush off here, while not ideal, is where we want to be. Interesting. We find a Mind into Matter, and that's certainly the pick here. It's not certainly the pick. I think I'm still gonna pick it. The Noxious Newt is also really good. So for me, this is even between Mind into Matter and Noxious Newt. There's an interactive spell, but really Banishing Betrayal does not, I think, is more suited in a really aggressive deck. For us, we want to spew out creatures, and then end with a Germination Practicum. But yeah, this is Mind into Matter. We find a Knockout Maneuver, which is great. We have a Foolish Fate, which we could also pick up. There's a Titan's Grave, which I would love to take. But we finally found some interaction in our colors, so this is a Knockout Maneuver for me, for sure. We find a Shilonian Tackle, Chase Inspiration, Harmonized Trio, but I don't think this is great. I think this is still an interactive spell, so I'm gonna take it here. I would love to take one Chase Inspiration, but we already have a Royal Treatment, which basically performs the same role. So getting a Chelonian Tackle here is good. We still are a little bit low on creatures, but here is an Essence Scatter, which perfectly fine interaction, and we'd love to pick that up. Still, we would really like to get a 2-drop. I think this is now the space where we pick up Tam. There's really nothing else in the pack, so we're happy to get one late. And there's even a Mindful Biomancer, perfect. That is exactly what we wanted. And I think with this, our deck now looks really solid. The Wisdom of Ages wheeled all the ways. That's something that we are interested in. Triple blue is quite tough. I don't think I want to play the Oracle's Restoration. I'm just going to take it, and then we'll figure out during deck building if this is something that we are interested to play. Nice, we get 2 really nice 2-drops. I think the Noxious Newt is a little bit better. Do we have some X spells? I don't. No, we have the Mind into Matter. This is just a better blocker, but the Noxious Newt has some additional utility. Didn't mention it, but then the Shopkeeper's Bane really good with the Germination Practicum. We didn't find an Emil. But that's fine. No. Come back, please. Let's put the Wisdom of Agent in for now. And then see how our final deck configuration might look like. We will not be able to trigger this Thornfist Striker, I think. Let's have a look. We have 2 Mindful Biomancers. So it might be active on, well, there's a Shopkeeper's Bane, so the 2 of them together work. The Mindful Biomancer works. The Grapple with Death works. So maybe it's something that we are interested in. It's also decently statted. We don't quite get to the density of creatures that we wanted, I think. So I think we want to cut down on spells more than we want to cut down on creatures in order for to maximize this Germination Practicum. Do we still need to splash for black? I think I'm at least gonna get rid of the Wander Off. The Grapple basically usually does the same thing, except for corner cases, for example. You can't get rid of a of the recurring camel. But as we now have an Essence Scatter, Baroque Barrage, Quandrix Charm, maybe. Knockout Maneuver, Shelonian Tackle. 2 brush-offs. I think I'm going to cut that down to 1 brush-off. Do we still need this grapple? We have a Terramorphic Expanse, but nothing else to enable this. I think if we had found a dual land, which I think I missed. I will have to check the I will have to check the footage for it. Maybe I was not paying attention during that particular pick where there was a dual land in there, and we already had a Grapple with Death. So I think that might have been an oversight on my part. The problem with Baroque Barrage, Shelonian Tackle, and Knockout Maneuver, if you don't have creatures or creatures of the correct size on the battlefield, and they do stone nothing. I am very confused by this. Why is the Shelonian Tackle a sorcery? Would have, I mean, of course we're talking different, maybe would have been too strong as an instant. I understand that, you know, you can save your creature from a removal spell while killing another one. But I don't know, 3 mana sorcery speed, I feel like this +0, +10 rarely matters at all. Yeah, I don't know. Additive evolutions are basically creatures. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get rid of the Grapple with Death for now. I think I want to play 17 lands. 3 more cuts to make. So what is it gonna be? We have 2 Noxious Newts, so maybe Page is not where we want to be, but you know, like cutting creatures, how many creatures do we actually have? We only have 14 creatures to begin with, plus 2 additive evolution, so that's 16. The Virtuoso is also not great. But we do have, we have one. We have 1 instant of sorcery. Makes it a 4/4, but then it also I feel like in our creature range, the Virtuoso is like awkwardly positioned. The Spellbook Seeker is also not great. The problem is really getting rid of these is gonna make our decks so much worse. The Germination Practicum is gonna become worse. Even the Mind into Matter, when we cast it for a certain amount, and we usually don't want a land to put into play. We would prefer it to be a creature. Or card draw is fine. Yeah, I really want to cut down a little bit on the spell side, but what are we gonna get rid of? Royal Treatment? I think I'm gonna get rid of the page. It's so tough for me to get rid of the Brush Off. It's just a one spell that stops everything, you know. Sometimes you just sit there with this in hand and you know nothing can go wrong. It's such a great feeling. And it can be an Essence Scatter, but between Essence Scatter and Brush Off, I think the Royal Treatment maybe can go. We want to go to 16 lands with 2 Noxious Newts. I feel like we really want to hit our land drops. We also have card draw, so I don't think I want to go to 16. Tough, tough, tough. What is the last card to go? What if we get rid of the Shelonian Tackle? Essence Scatter, Baroque Barrage, Quandrix Charm, Knockout Maneuver, Brush Off. With 2 Noxious Newts, the Shelonian Tackle usually will kill creatures. This Thornfist Striker as well is not inspiring. But we do have 2 Biomancers and a Shopkeeper's Bane. Oh, even Tam. Yeah, I think Thornfist Striker. I think with Tam and with a repeatable life gain effect here in the late game, Thornfist Striker can be very good. Quick Study. We have card draw, we have Quick Study, Mind into Matter, and Emeritus. Maybe it's the Quick Study to go. We have Pensive Professor as well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of the Quick Study here. And then hope that this is good enough. Why is this? Yeah. I think all hail the Emeritus make him the headliner of the deck, and maybe he will show up. So, let's see how all of this shakes out. Alright, here are we with our Quandrix deck, and our first opponent is Lizer. We have a pretty good start. Noxious Newt into Thornfist Striker, into Germination Practicum. And we go first. And then we also can start drawing some cards. Our opponent starts on white. Oh, okay, yeah. We have even the Shopkeeper's Bane plus Thornfist Striker. Let's see if we can draw a land here, because that would guarantee. I think I'm going to play the Virtuoso here, just to slow our opponent down for a turn. We can even attack. And if we manage to find a land next turn, then I think we are in a very good spot. Our opponent might wants to be committed to add to the board. Yes. Perfect. And here's the land. We're gonna play Germination Practicum. Our Virtuoso is gonna become enormous, and we slam in for 6. It's unlikely that they will be able to get rid of both of our creatures here. So next turn we're gonna Thornfist Striker and Shopkeeper's Bane. Probably Shopkeeper's Bane first and then Thornfist Striker. They're at 5 mana. 3 colors. So let's see what's coming out of their laboratory. Nothing. Yep, they want to get rid of this. This is main phase, right? Okay, so let's get a green. Sure. And then we can commit both Thornfist Striker and Shopkeeper's Bane to the board. Sure. Here's the Striker. Now we can attack. And then post-combat play the Shopkeeper's Bane. Sure, they have an Abrade. There are definitely ways for them out of this. But currently they're fighting an uphill battle, for sure. Color Storm Stallion is a pretty good start. Alright. Germination Practicum, and we have a Brush Off. And I think we're gonna attack here. They are at 8. We could mind into meta, but I think the better line here is to keep the brush off up. Depending that they will want to play something for 5 to double their Color Storm Stallion. We could commit more to the board by drawing 3 cards, but I think we're gonna do that next turn. Maybe even find the 2-drop that gains us 1 life to activate the Thornfist Striker. I think for now I just want to be safe more than I want to be needlessly aggressive. I think we have this. Currently we are far ahead. Stone Docent currently forbids them to play anything for 5. Built in the heat. Sure, this resolves, but I'm sorry to say that the wilt in the heat will not. And now I feel very, very good about this game. Yeah. That's what I said. Sometimes you just sit there with your counterspell in your hand and you know nothing can go wrong. All right. I mean, that was basically the perfect curve out, and even then our opponent made it quite challenging for us to win. So yeah, I feel like this is a portent of things to come. We're gonna have to fight, but we're 1 game up. Let's see how far we can go. Beastie Bear. Our opponent goes first. We have a Pensive Professor, Textbook Tabulator, Knockout Maneuver, all 3 drops. But I don't think this is a hand that we can mulligan. So even though we have literally no power in hand, maybe that's the wrong decision. We're going up against white, which might indicate to us that we are already dead. Ah, well, I mean, they have nothing on 2. So that's already pretty good. Hop to it, though. I think I'm gonna start with the Textbook Tabulator, going into the Spellbook Seeker to put some power on the board. Shopkeeper's Bane and Island. Not sure about this Shopkeeper's Bane. But actually maybe we want it. I'm gonna keep it for now. Emeritus of Truce. So if they have practice offense, then we are already dead. I think we'll just continue to curve out. Spellbook Seeker. And then no attacks. We have not seen that second color. Okay, so they stop attacking. Which is amazing for us. We still can very easily lose this game, depending on what's in their hand. I think I'm gonna go with the additive evolution here. Puts another body on the board and makes us able to attack in the air. And then next turn we can play the Pensive Professor, put a counter on him, draw a card. Or maybe we just want to keep attacking with the Flyer. If we draw an untapped land, then it's... yeah, there it is. Let's play the Pensive Professor. And then... try to kill the Emeritus. Yeah, our opponent is just stuck on one color. We didn't even get to see what they have. Yeah, it's knockout maneuver, we draw a card, additive evolution, probably put it on the Pensive Professor as well. Draw another card, and then from there it's just like... even would have the TAM with Terramorphic Expanse. Pikachu Flare! We're going up against a diamond player. Our opponent goes first. If we draw a land, then we have a really nice curve. Essence Scatter into Textbook Tabulator probably. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep. And there is the land that we were looking for. There's a Spirit Mascot, so that already slipped through. So now we have an Essence Scatter for what they play next, if they play a creature. I think now that we have the Thornfist Striker, I think I want to run that out first. It has Ward and blocks a Spirit Mascot. Yep. They very wisely chose. So, Thornfist Striker over Textbook Tabulator means that we don't get to Surveil, so we don't get to set up our next draw spell. But even if we stay on 3, that's not the end of the world. We can knockout maneuver if we want to, or we can Tabulator, or maybe even Shopkeeper's Bane. Next turn is not the critical turn. Yeah, I think I'm still gonna go with the Thornfist Striker. Might be a mistake, but we'll see. If they have a land drop, they can pursue the past, and then we will be faced with the decision whether to block the Spirit Mascot or not. Well, they have an Abrade. And we don't draw the land, so that is a little bit of punishment here. So we're gonna play the Textbook Tabulator currently. So I think that will force... I mean, it's gonna be the Terramorphic Expanse. Do we want... well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Do we want to draw this card later? I don't think we want to, so we can just bin it. Because we're gonna shuffle it back in the deck. So... but Death Touch can be quite good against... it's gonna be a good blocker even against big creatures. So maybe we're okay with drawing it later. Let's put it in the bin. Yeah, practice Trollsmith pretty good. They get their Abrade back. They grow the Spirit Mascot. Our Textbook Tabulator dies. We are on 13. And I think we are more or less forced to play the Shopkeeper's Bane and try to hold them off. On the other hand, if we draw an untapped land, we can Shopkeeper's Bane into Baroque Barrage. Keep up the Essence Scatter. They probably play Pursue the Past, attack for 7. If we play Shopkeeper's Bane now and we don't draw land, yeah, it feels like we're not ahead here, so maybe we'll just play the Shopkeeper's Bane. They know now that it's more or less free to commit to the board, whatever they want, yeah. Alright. So we're not gonna block, of course. There's a group project, that's really good for them. Oh my. Well. Yeah. Yeah, we will not overcome this. Pretty sure. If we draw a land, we can deploy our 2 removal spells, so maybe we can come back, but this is gonna be rough. Yeah, this resolves. And this resolves. We're gonna go and get our island, and we need an untapped land now. There it is. So we get rid of the Garrison Excavator and the Scrollsmith, I think. And we're still gonna take a bunch of damage. Yep. I concur. That's probably their best. And they even have the removal. It's a good game. We were on the back foot this entire game. I think a royal treatment at some point might have been beneficial, but I'm not sure. We need to stick our threats, and royal treatment really helps us get there. So the question is, would we rather have a royal treatment to basically counter their removal spell, or do we want an Essence Scatter to counter their creature? I'm gonna try it. I don't know. Let's see how this works out. I'm gonna take a royal treatment here over an Essence Scatter. It's more conditional, I feel like, than the Essence Scatter. And it reduces our interactions even more. But against... what are we gonna do against creature... in creature matchups, early on. The Baroque Barrage can only be deployed after we have creatures on the board. And if they slip one through, like it was in this game just now, then how are we gonna deal with it? I feel like for early game interaction, the Quandrix Charm does the same job as Essence Scatter. So let's try Royal Treatment. Maybe that's where we want to be. But of course, it's another spell that only works when if we have creatures on the board. I go first. If we draw a land, then I'm happy. If we don't draw land, I'm very unhappy. I think I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna go up against Kobad. And yes, there's a reason why I pronounce it this weirdly. Alright, we found the third land. Excellent. I think I'm gonna start on the Thornfist Striker. Simply because it has Ward 1. Difficult to interact with for our opponent. Let's draw another land, shall we? It was such a good feeling. We're gonna play the Virtuoso. Tap down the Stone Docent and attack. Johnny's response. Okay. Let's draw land. Let's draw land next turn then maybe. Yeah, we need to play the Tabulator because we need to get these lands. Perfect. Land. And then we are at Emeritus mana. Oh, our opponent is full Mardu. Sure. You could have just attacked, my friend. Okay, I'm happy about this. There's a lot that we can do on 5, so I think I'm just gonna use all of our mana, play the Spellbook Seeker. Not gonna block here, regardless. Oh, together as one. That's a pretty good draw for them. Okay, well, I see you. I don't think I want to play the Emeritus now. So the question is, do we want to play the Shopkeeper's Bane and Mindful Biomancer or Additive Evolution? And I think it's gonna be the Evolution. Emeritus of Conflict, and they might be able to... Yeah, I mean, depending on what they have in hand, they might be able to prepare it. Cost of Brilliance. Got something else? Yeah, there it is. Emeritus is prepared. Noxious Newt. I really don't want to expose my Emeritus. Yeah, they will be able to... Where's our removal? We're gonna play Shopkeeper's Bane, Noxious Newt. I'm gonna put a +1/+1 counter on the Virtuosa, but we might lose next turn, depending on what if they have like removal plus Emeritus of Conflict, then all of our board is gone. Not gonna attack here. Okay, well, I mean, they didn't do this before they cast their Lightning Bolt. Oh no, they just need to do it, yeah. And there's another removal spell. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Emeritus just mowed down our entire board. Not gonna block here. I mean, we're gonna commit everything to a board. There's an Emeritus. There's the Mindful Biomancer. We're gonna put something on here, just in case it matters. The Emeritus is currently not loaded, so they need to play 3 spells before the Emeritus. That's number 1. They have a very good deck. I love that they get to trigger the Emeritus over and over again. Wow, okay, Arnin. Why? Opponent, why? And there's Tome Blast, getting rid of our creature. Now their Lightning Bolt is ready. Alright, we get to draw some cards. Maybe we can get ourselves out of this. Unlikely though, they have a lot of mana, they have the Emeritus. We're stuck on blue. So I'm gonna play the Mindful Biomancer. Yeah, I mean, running out the TAM just doesn't do anything here. So let's put a counter on the Emeritus and attack. And now they have to commit a lot in order to kill this. Because now 2 Lightning Bolts aren't even enough. We can pump our Biomancer. Next time we can play the TAM. Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, can you imagine the royal treatment in our hand now? Pull from the grave. How are you gonna do this now? Wow. What? That seemed like a waste of a lightning bolt. And they're just dead? No, they're not dead. They're at 10, sorry. Because they gained 2 life. Yeah, we win. Oof. This didn't look good for quite some time, but I think... Let's take a look. Could they have done anything better here? Let's critique our opponent a little. So they had the Emeritus. They had the Tome Blast. So they would have had to Tome Blast, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt. Oh, they didn't have enough red. Ah, they didn't have enough red mana for this at all. I probably should have thought about this earlier. Yeah, but they shouldn't have started. Point is, they shouldn't have started putting 2 damage on the... maybe they were looking for something that gave them additional red mana or something. I don't know. We are going up against Nate, the number 17 in the world. Well, and of course the perks of the higher ranked player is to go first. So keep 7. How do we want to start? So they are also on Paradox Gardens. I think I want to start with the Cuboid Colony. Let's see what they play now. If they keep this open, then I think I just want to run out the Biomancer. If they want to counter that, that's fine. Okay, it's a Deduce, not a counter spell. So the Mindful Biomancer. It is. And then next turn we have Cuboid Colony plus Royal Treatment if we want it. We're gonna attack here. I think we pass the turn. They will crack their clue. And then we play the Cuboid Colony and have the Royal Treatment up. Resonating Loot. Wow, okay, well, I mean, now it's on us to put up some pressure. I'm gonna keep the Royal Treatment up now. I'm gonna start with a Thornfist Striker. Or should we start with a Shopkeeper's Bane? I feel like the Bane is a little bit better because then next turn we can... and we should be able to keep it alive with the Royal Treatment. Because then next turn we can play the Thornfist Striker and attack with everything. But first we have to weather whatever it is they are doing now. They have 10 mana available to them, so I would be surprised if they were not able to find something here. They're Proctus Gazing here, and I think we don't want to let this through. They might have a reaction to this. It's very likely. The Shopkeeper's Bane is... But if they kill it, then they also lose their Proctus. Proctus Gaze? No, yeah. Okay, so they let live. There's another Proctus Gaze. Wow, okay. Alright. I don't have a lot of cards in hand, but depending on what they have in hand. I mean, we're still trying this, I feel like. Or do we just play the tabulator? Nah. Tam? Tam puts up the... No, actually, the Shopkeeper's Bane puts the most pressure in conjunction with the Thornfist Striker next turn. Would have been amazing if we had the 6th land there. Yeah, together as one, sure. Yeah, this game is over. I assume they have something that gets all of these cards back into their hand. They are also now at 17 life. Let's attack with the Biomancer. They might even choose to block it. Gonna play the Tabulator. 2 additive evolution. So how do we win this? I'm pretty sure that it's not 2 additive evolutions in a row. It might be. But I feel like... I don't know. The Germination Practicum? Their hand is probably full of removal, card draw. I mean, they have everything now. That's what we have to assume. Additive evolution at least is another creature. Let's keep 1 additive evolution up there and then play the Striker. That's 16 land, there's a Snarl Song, yeah. If they don't have Divergent Equation, then I think we still have a chance, or like the what's it, Wizardry of Ages, or whatever the 7 mana spell that returns all of the spells back into their hand is. I have a very good version of this deck. There's Burst Lightning, sure. I have no idea what to do here, so I only know that I don't want to attack. Yep, there's Wisdom of Ages. I think this is where we give up. What a deck, what a draw. We were on the draw, so we couldn't apply enough pressure before they played their loot, and from then on it was just like, it was easy street for them. Yeah, nothing that I would like to change here. So from now on, every single game is a win or in, basically. Win or out. We're going up against LOZ the Brilliant. We go first. And we have a very nice curve here. Not a lot of creatures for this Germination Practicum, but this might change. So we're gonna play the Noxious Newt and keep the Brush Off up. And then next turn we can... Probably what I'm gonna do is Shopkeeper's Bane plus keep the Brush Up. If they don't force us to use the Brush Off here, and it doesn't look like it, then next turn we're gonna play the Shopkeeper's Bane and keep the Brush Off up, and then it's Germination Practicum, and hopefully it's just a win from there. Grimroot Cascade, gonna play the Shopkeeper's Bane. I'm gonna attack with a Noxious Newt. We don't care about creatures normally. But any spell we are not okay with. Molten Core Maestro is a creature that we kind of care about. Oof. Yeah, but we're still gonna do this. Keep a blue up. If they counter it, then we can counter back. Nice. And they don't. So we attack. Yeah. And Drake 96 is now our opponent. I have to say, our draws have been extraordinary. Also, we are on the play a lot. Up against red. Could play the Biomancer. Yeah, let's play the Biomancer. I'm more okay with the Biomancer dying than with the Noxious Newt dying. Okay. So now let's play the Newt. If they play... well, they don't play anything, interestingly. Could just Mind into Matter for 3. I think I'm gonna play the Virtuoso. And that's gonna be a 4/4 next turn. Maybe. I mean, as long as they don't play anything, I don't feel like playing this Mind into Matter. Let's attack. And play the Shopkeeper's Bane. Stone Blast. Excellent. So they're tapped out. We're gonna be going ham. 2, 4, 5. Please. Let's draw 5 cards. And put a permanent. Five into play. If they can handle this. And they might be able to. But the Watch 2 is really a hindrance. Then next turn we play Germination Practicum and then not sure what they're gonna do. Even if they have the Arcane Omens now. Let's embrace the paradox. You're dead, buddy. You're dead! Let's see if they scoop. Yeah, that's just death. The Emeritus! I feel like Germination Practicum has been a lot more influential on our wins than the Emeritus so far. 5 wins! Alright, let's keep going. We're going up against A, B, C. Our opponent goes first, and we have the first decision. I really don't want the Pensive Professor to be our first card to play on turn 3. If we draw a green land, then, I mean, this is an incredible hand. Yeah, I think our deck is strong enough. We don't need to keep such a hand. Here, I think I'm gonna put back Tam or Tackle. Tackle currently doesn't do anything. Don't have any creatures. So if we go to 4 and then haven't drawn any creatures. We have interaction in Quandrix Charm, so let's put back the Shalonian Tackle. Found a striker. Opponent on red. Red-green. Okay. We found a Mind into Matter, which is pretty good. I don't think I want them to have the Potioner's Trove. And now we play Thornfist Striker. It even has Ward. Matter Bending Mage, pretty good answer. Alright. On 4, I think now we're playing Tam. And if we draw a land, then we can deploy Thornfist Striker plus Biomancer. If they use their removal on Tam, I am actually okay with that. As long as we draw land. We could even Mind into Matter next turn if things go really badly, draw 2 cards and put a Biomancer on board. It seems like they are not able to deal with the Tam. think I want to find this land. They do have 2 mana up. Could just Cuboid Colony and Mindful Biomancer, and then if we draw the land... Nah, I think I'm just gonna play this. This allows us to hopefully find a land. We did not find a land. What the heck? Royal Treatment though is pretty good. Yeah, let's put the Biomancer in. Are we attacking? I think we are. No, we are not. That's still a one-on-one trade. Oh, they have their own mind into matter. Theirs is better. For 4. Oh, but they put a land in, and we cannot find this land. Yeah, let's attack. Maybe they found a lot of spells, so maybe they had nothing else to deploy to the board. So now at least we have like 3 creatures on the board. They're now at 9 mana. Prismari. Sure. Oh. Well, we have to kill Prismari here. So we are gonna throw ourselves into this. I'm not gonna block with Prismari. That's what I thought. Can Baroque Barrage to keep the Biomancer on board and still have Royal Treatment up. Rubble Rouser, we can kill Rubble Rouser. feel like whatever they're doing, it's probably not gonna help us. This might be a problem, but this also gives us the option if they like can't completely go off. At least we have 2 ward 1 creatures. Maybe the attack was bad. Yeah, if they now have a single removal spell, we're dead. Yeah, there it is. Well, it's not a removal spell. And the only things they get are lands. We are not dead here yet. There's a land. So what we can do is we deploy 2 creatures. Which ones? The Thornfist Striker, I think. And then we keep the Cuboid Colony in hand. Smari is coming in. What is it? Okay. Divergent equation. Now I can't even play the Cuboid Colony. But that opens another line for us. Because now we can play the Cuboid Colony defensively. Depending on what they have in their hand. So we have 4 mana. Okay, so it's gonna be Tam. So first we're gonna attack. Going to damage. Is it better to play the Tabulator? Or is it better to play Tam? If they don't use the Proctor's Gaze, we're just dead. Because they can, in response to us playing the Cuboid Colony, they will just kill us. And they will return it to our... Oh, wait. Maybe we can't play the Cuboid Colony at all. We play it, they return it, we replay it. So we play the Mindful Biomancer, and that leaves us up for this. Alright. Let's end the turn. They Proctor's Gaze. Perfect. Well, it's not perfect. I forgot that Storm also counts for us. Okay. Also counts our spells. Yeah. But maybe we find something. Now, but even if we find something now, we are gonna... Now we're gonna lose to the Ward of Prismari. As a heated argument, sure, good game. Yeah, I didn't think about the Storm also counting for the spells that we play. But then I don't think there is any way out of this other, of course, than drawing a removal spell or... But I don't even think we have a lot. They can also just return their Prismari. Yeah, we didn't really have anything that that got rid of the Prismari. I think they get to 7 mana that quickly. Did they do it very quickly? I don't even remember. I mean, they just returned creatures to our hand. And we were stuck on 4 lands. So, yeah. Yeah, this was a deck. I mean, I had high hopes for this. I think the outcome is a little bit disappointing. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the... I think the deck is ended up really good. I think I liked the Royal Treatment over the Essence Scatter. I'm not sure about the treatment of the Royal Treatment in the last game. There might have been better ways to use it. Probably the attack was not great. And maybe even if I attack, then probably I don't attack with the 2/2. That allows me to keep the Royal Treatment. They have to block a creature that they will die to. And if they don't block with the Prismari, then we don't have to do anything. And we still have the Royal Treatment up for one of their spells later on. But I think this was a really tough game to win at some point anyways. After they have the Prismari out, I feel like it was very well in their corner. I think we would have won this if we, drew our 5th land at some point. A little bit earlier. Because it seemed like the early game interaction, apart from the bounce, was not great. They had a lot of bounce spells, for sure, but they didn't have anything to keep us permanently off the board. And once their Prismari was out, I think the game was also over. The Emeritus showed up once, was not killed, and was very instrumental in winning us the game. But Germination Practicum here was the absolute MVP. Curving out And then Germination Practicum is just such a beating. We didn't see what the Pensive Professor can do, especially with 2 additive evolutions. I feel like the Pensive Professor can have a more severe impact. Yeah, I think this was a very good deck. I'm not sure. Maybe I could have played a little bit better in order to get us 2 more wins. But that's why we're here for. I'm happy-ish. 5 wins. So that gives us 2 pips towards our next towards our next goal. And with that, thank you and see you next time.